it's only weird if you make it weird.
I mean, you
You
ever had
just
that
do the small
situation where
talk.
you were invited to go to a wedding or a birthday party or a baby shower or whatnot, and kind of wondered if so and so was gonna be there?
Yeah, my wedding.
Please don't invite me to the wedding. Just invite me to the bachelor party. That's it. The forgiveness process, right? Is because I feel like a lot of us are caught up in the toxicity of drowning yourself in this hate, in a sense, or grudge that
Right.
people hold towards other people.
Yeah.
It's not talked about a lot. You know, some people dislike certain people, and then you ask them why, and then they get all really upset when they think about their name.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think it is besides the fact that they feel betrayed or whatnot? Like, what is it that causes them to continue on to want to hate or hold on to that anger inside that they can't let go?
That's like one of the hardest things for men. It's like learning to deal with their emotions and deal with trauma, or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? They just disregard it and throw away the key, kind of thing. And I have friends like that. Like they will hold grudges to the end of the day, bro. Like to the death. Like they would throw away all the history that we have over a confrontation or a disagreement. You know what I'm saying? Like
Why do you think that is?
pride, man.
My bad, you sensitive ass motherfucker.
I'm being serious right now.
All right, we're back, everyone. On this episode, we wanted to touch bases about rekindling old relationships, but at the same time, the last episode we said that we were going to talk about rekindling old relationships, but I think that it's best if we speak more so on the actuality of the scenario. I believe it's more forgiveness rather than rekindling, because everyone's fallout stems from or roots from some type of problem that happened in the past, which causes people to eventually drift apart. The relationships. How would you want to describe it?
Well, personally, I mean, my group of friends that I guess I grew up with since I don't know middle school, high school, I guess through high school, in my 20s, and then I would say 30s. We we were a big group, but in actuality, you're only so close to a few. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be close to all of them. Um, Definitely, all of them have a mutual respect towards each other from growing up with each other and doing all that things that we hung out together with and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, you just don't rock with everyone like that. So
I think the main question would be like, why is it that you think that people stop talking? There could be a lot of scenarios, right? We can just grow apart, don't have to share the same interests.
busy with life. I mean, trying to.
I mean, we would like to use that as an excuse, but in reality, all it is a phone call away. But why is it that people stop calling each other? Right? Usually, there's a fallout, right? Something that bad happened, mistrust, betrayal. There's a whole bunch of things you can add to this list,
No, no. I
even from
mean,
family
no.
too.
Just like life happens. I mean, and you just don't kick it like that no more. I mean, yeah, like I said. I mean, my group is like it's pretty big, but then like in actuality, I only keep in touch with like maybe a handful or two. But I mean,
Is there someone that you can think of right off the top of your head that you said, man, it's been a while, or been a minute since I spoke with him or her. I missed them, but you don't know exactly how to approach it where it's not awkward to go say hi. You don't necessarily have to have a fallout, but at the same time,
yeah.
you don't really have a reason why you guys stopped talking. But majority of people, they have their reasons. They just don't want to speak on it because it's been so long, and it becomes awkward when we see each other at the wedding invites. You know, um, and that's usually when it.
Well, I mean, it's only weird. I always had to say like it's only weird if you make it weird. You know, I mean, everybody know what small talk is. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, shit,
I mean, you
we
ever had
just
that
do the small
situation where
talk.
you were invited to go to a wedding or a birthday party or a baby shower or whatnot, and kind of wondered if so and so was gonna be there?
Yeah, my wedding.
Oh yeah,
I mean, my wedding was pretty small, and well, not pretty small,
I
but
don't think it was
it
small.
was small to me to where I couldn't invite everybody that I wanted there. You know, so I had, I guess, certain feelings towards certain friends that was just couldn't make it. I mean, they couldn't. I had somebody else seat for that. So I mean, I
Yeah,
don't know. We just, yeah, I felt like they felt some type of way, and there's a few that I could name, but I mean, in actuality, it's just like we just don't talk, you know, and that's okay. Like, it is what it is. At the end of the day, just be happy for me at the same time, and I guess certain feelings is hurt, but it didn't make any sense to me because we don't even talk anyway, you know. So that was the kind of thing that I had, and I was just like, why don't you just be happy? That's it. Like, why you getting butthurt over it when we don't even talk like that? So,
it almost sounds like you're talking about somebody specific.
well, yeah, like I said, there's a few friends that um, I felt like they felt some type of way because they didn't get the invite to it. But and you know, in actuality, it's just it is what it is.
I think the way, making the wedding list was probably one of the hardest things too, as well for me because my wife and I we definitely know a lot of people,
Mhm.
and we had to come to an agreement saying that if I mean we had to cross, and I guess you call it cross elimination, whatever it is. We use a method of if she doesn't know him or her, or I don't know him or her, then it's on the questionable list, right?
Mhm.
And there's the must have list. Like even though you don't know them, I have to have them there. Like that person would be upset at me, and I couldn't walk around with my head up high knowing that this person wasn't invited. There was that group too as well.
Mhm.
But at the same time, there was a lot of people that I wanted to invite that I didn't get to invite. Is because we had that agreement saying that if she doesn't know them and I don't know them
Mhm.
on her end, then they couldn't come. I don't know if it's. I mean, it sucks. Is because we want to invite everybody. That's the truth,
Yeah, and at the end of the
right?
day, you don't want anybody to feel left out. It is a messed up feeling because most of my friends was there, and there's a few that just couldn't be there. So
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna feel some type of way. I probably would, but at the end of the day, I'm much more grown now, so I wouldn't be feeling whatever about it. And just in actuality, just think about it. Like, when's the last time you called me and had a conversation?
Right.
So that's why I felt like they shouldn't have felt any type of way, you know. So yeah, it's just like my bachelor party too. I didn't want to invite people that I couldn't have at my wedding to the bachelor party. You know what I'm saying? Because I just felt a little weird. Like if I invite you to my bachelor party, I just would feel weird because I couldn't invite you to my wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So then I had one of the friends I bumped into in traffic, and he was just like, "Yeah, but I still could have kicked it with you for your wedding, for your bachelor party, and just not make it to your wedding, which is fine." But then I bust down what I was thinking, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you know, whatever." But yeah, I mean, everybody thinks about it in every single way or whatever. But just know, like, it ain't no hard feelings. We still friends. It's just like I just had a small ass wedding. I
For
don't know,
for
man.
me, please don't invite me to the wedding. Just invite me to the bachelor party. That's it. I don't really
Right?
care about the
Yeah,
wedding.
yeah, yeah.
But on this episode, I wanted to elaborate more on the forgiveness process. Right? It's because I feel like a lot of us are caught up in the I don't even know what the right word is toxicity of drowning yourself in this hate in a sense or a grudge that
Right.
people hold towards other people.
Yeah.
It's just it's not talked about a lot. Some people dislike certain people, and then you ask them why, and then they get all really upset when they think about their name.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think it is besides the fact that they feel betrayed or whatnot? Like, what is it that causes them to continue on to want to hate or hold on to that anger inside that they can't let go?
Yeah, I mean, it just it comes with growing up, I guess, in a point where you just want to be happy, man, and just want to be see people being happy and doing good. So that's what it comes down to with me. I mean, I have no hard feelings. I always brush shit off, roll shit off the back of roll shit off my back type of thing. That's how I'm very nonchalant. I don't try to take anything too personally. But then there is friends where they do hold grudges and they just choose not to continue that relationship anymore, which is it is what it is. They just choose not to deal with it, you know. And that's like one of the hardest things for men. It's like learning to deal with their emotions and deal with trauma, or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? They just disregard it and throw away the key, kind of thing. And I have friends like that. Like they will hold grudges to the end of the day, bro. Like to the death. Like they would throw away all the history that we have over a confrontation or a disagreement. You know what I'm saying? Like
Why do you think that is?
pride, man. One of them is having pride. It's hard to admit when you're wrong, especially as a guy.
Do you think that it's that person is at fault for feeling the way they feel because they felt like they were betrayed or backstabbed?
See, so that's the thing, right? Like I always said this, and y'all heard this from previous episodes, where I feel like any relationship, friendship, love, family, any relationship you have with one person, it takes two, right? You know, each person got to give 100%, and then when we're not perfect, we're changing every day. We're learning to like different things every day and dislike different things every day as we grow older. So keeping that in mind when you're tackling a relationship and being around this person, you have to understand the type of person that they are too, and knowing them from all the history that you guys do have to with each other. You got to tippy toe around certain topics, right? So there's like friends that I could talk to about
You
certain
talking about some
topics.
people that are overly sensitive about certain things?
Yeah, because they don't know how to deal with that confrontation of it. You know, they just rather disregard it
Can you
as
give
a
an
whole.
example?
Okay, like relationship wise, I would holler at a certain one of my friends about it because he's very open minded and open ended and see both sides instead of just being biased. And there's like I could talk to my other friend about like business or something like that, and that I wouldn't talk to him about because he's more advanced in that uh, area or whatever. So it's just like I don't know. It's just and then like I got to be overly sensitive towards this friend because he doesn't know how to take a joke in a sense, or we can't joke with him like that because he takes it a different
He's
way.
overly sensitive. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to use the word sensitive. He's more. I don't know how to say it. I mean, I'm guilty too of being that person. Like, there's been occasions where I clown on people, and then when they try to clown on me back, then it doesn't work out, right? And the thing is, I think for me, if I guess all these traumatic events in my life, right?
Hmm.
It kind of like everyone goes back into that child mode. I'm not gonna say child mode, you know, like, but when I say child mode, you know, when you're younger, someone crosses a line, and then somebody says, "You don't know me, you don't know what I've been through," and then you you get upset, and then there's this drama that comes right after that, right? A lot of people they they don't people don't know your life story, and this stems from that, going back to that word ego, how you paint the picture to the world of your story, this imaginary story that you came up with about yourself, that you think that the world should know who you are, but technically they don't. And when you invest all this love into a relationship, whether it's with your friend or your ex-girlfriend or your girlfriend, whoever it might be, and they do something wrong, you just kind of get upset. It's because you expect them to know that these things irritate you or doesn't sit well with you. So then what do you tend to do? You emotionally react to it. It's just how we work. But really, it's words, right? And you know that old saying, sticks and stones will break my bones, and words will never hurt me.
It's not true either. Yeah.
But it's not true. And we are very sensitive now. And we're sensitive is because we demand a respect. We want people to respect the way that we feel, so we explode or we go off on a tangent and we act the ways that we shouldn't. We don't want to be this person. Nobody likes waking up in the mornings and getting upset over the smallest things, right? That's the truth. And if you ask me, what would you rather choose to? What reaction would you rather have throughout your day? Would you rather be happy? Would you rather be upset? Would you rather be angry? I mean, obviously, what would you choose?
Angry.
Well, for the rest of us, like we want to live happy,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, we have all these things that bother us, and we need to kind of learn how to adapt and learn how to let go. And it pisses us off even more when somebody says, "Why are you so mad? Why are you so sensitive all the time?" And it gets you even more upset,
Mm-hmm.
right? But the truth of the matter is that you and I, or whomever it is, has gone through some type of traumatic event in our life where we don't want history to repeat itself. So what do we do?
Draw the line.
Yeah, he said you can't cross that line. That's it. I have
Mm-hmm.
had it. I don't go there. Like
There's,
I've been there before. I've seen that. I went down that route, and it doesn't end well for you. But the thing is that why would you constantly want to feel like you're threatening towards people, right? Nobody wants to be in a hostile environment when they're hanging out with their friends. So that's why I kind of feel like it's kind of needed to talk about. I'm not saying that it's not worth being upset about, but everyone has their right to be upset. But why get swallowed up in this toxic poison that we fill ourselves up with this anger, or I don't even want to use that word, but hate towards one another. For what? For that, for us to demand that word respect, and when we feel disrespected. And I had to really think about this, and that's why I felt like this episode was kind of important to discuss and talk about.
yeah, I mean, like, we don't know what everyone goes through on a daily. You know what I'm saying? It's just like after dealing with all that, you wanna relax and have fun with your friends or whatever it may be. And then like when it comes to the boys, like all we do is kind of talk shit in a fun way. But some people just don't know how to talk shit in a fun way. Like they get on his helmet like all the time, but like in a bad way. It's like I don't know. There's a good way to talk shit.
To a
Or
point of disrespect, or
it's not like disrespect, but yeah, I mean it can be. It can lead that way sometimes when they think it's kind of funny. Like my boy was talking shit. We was in a little group chat. He was talking shit. We were just talking about some shit. I don't know, I forgot, but and then he had said some words that I took offensively. I was like, damn, bro, you gotta
you took offensive.
yeah.
Okay.
So I had to call him out on it. I was like, bro, you gotta calm down with that shit. Like that shit's not cool.
Was it? Do you don't even remember what it was specifically?
Man, he just said some words that I didn't like, so and then I called him out on it. I was like, so that's the thing,
He
right?
called you a name.
Yeah, he called me a name, like he was just being cracking jokes type of shit. Like
Right.
it is what it is. But in actuality, going through text messages, this shit is kind of like I was probably going through some shit that day too,
Mm-hmm.
and then just hearing that shit on top of it was just kind of like made me draw the line. Like you shouldn't be talking to your homies like that. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you got to know certain boundaries and shit. Like, cause if we was in jail, bro, like we would have been fighting off top, and I was like,
Well,
I
if
would
you was in
never.
jail, you wouldn't be texting.
And
and reading it wrong.
I would never talk to him like that. You know what I'm saying? He
Right.
been to jail, so it's like that shit ain't even funny. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like you could crack jokes other ways, and and then I just told him straight up, like, I ain't no hard feelings, but I just told him straight up, don't call me out my name like that. Like that shit is not cool, man. Let's just press my button, and I just had to let him know, and we all good. That's it. But like I said, like you have to draw lines because people will continue to step on it until they realize that it's not okay,
So
though.
can I emphasize on what he called you? Did he call you like a bitch or something? Or
Yeah, he was making a joke about
because you said in jail
like a
and then
gay term. He was saying some shit like a faggot or something like.
okay.
Yeah,
So
so I was at the Niners game with my boy and shit.
mhm.
So we was watching the Niners game, and I was just excited because I bet on the Niners, right? And I want some money and shit, and I was
uh
just
uh fake money.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So and then yeah, he was just like, oh, you dancing over there like a faggot or something. I was like, what the fuck is you talking about, bro?
Mm.
You know. I took it personally because one, I got love for Frisco people because I fucks with people in Frisco. So I was like, man, you need to cut it with that shit, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like I would never call you some shit like that. That's what I said. So he was like, oh my bad, my bad, you being kind of sensitive type of shit. I was like, yeah, you call it whatever you want, but just don't call me that no more, man. That shit kind of offensive. So that's how I said it. And I'm like, yeah, we still cool. It's just but like people just don't know, and like you know, boys we just talk shit. We just do stupid shit together. So that's all we do. But sometimes he can get ahead of himself, and it's all about boundaries, man. Like that's one of the things that my wife told me that her therapist they talk about, like because she had to set certain boundaries for certain people so that they can't keep crossing that boundary line. So that's something that therapists work with people on too. So it's a thing, and it's just yeah. I don't know. You just have to draw that line sometimes with people.
Right. But
Cause like I could be fucking blunt ass douchebag when I talk sometimes too. I could be pretty um, maybe sometimes borderline abusive.
sure,
Cause when I'm drunk or whatever, I'm obnoxious as fuck, and I hate that shit.
sure.
So I know what it could be like. So like my wife tell me all the time, like whatever.
No,
But and I see it, so it's like I got to correct that shit. I wouldn't want to treat somebody like that, especially with my friend. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want them to feel hurt, because at the end of the day, that's what it is. But that's the thing with relationships. It's like you have to give it 100 each. And at the same time, people are changing every day, so it's like you have to tell them when shit is offensive or shit is crossing the line. Like that's just foul. You know what I'm saying? You just call them out on it. And being a friend or a loved one, they should respect it and respect your boundaries and respect the person you are to not go that route with you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the certain things that I do with certain friends too, because I know there's certain topics or whatever that they probably couldn't tackle with an open mind, or I don't know, just one sided. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't know.
well, it sounds to me like you're sharing perspective right now, right? And you want to shed light on the people that talk very aggressively or even possibly even sound like bullies.
Yeah.
And then you have to step up for yourself and sound like you're not a punk. So that's why you draw these things where imaginary lines where it basically separates you and him or you and them. Like you can't cross it, and if you do, there's gonna be problems. But if we constantly feel that way, we're always gonna be easily agitated, right? And we're always gonna be annoyed when somebody steps over it and does this, and we're gonna constantly have to feel like we have to defend something that's not even real. Remember that word ego? It's exactly what it is. But at the same time, it's like, how are we supposed to walk through life just knowing that everyone's able to just call us whatever they want to call us without any type of repercussions or any type of consequences, right? And then we want to be that person to be making a name out of them or set an example, but is it really that necessary?
When
Like
when it comes to friends, yeah, Strangers, I can care less.
Mm.
You know, unless they stepping on my toes, that's different. I have to defend myself.
Like if you see a relationship with them, then you'll say something and say, "Hey,
Is the relationship worth it? Is the relationship worth continuing working on?
mm,
Every relationship is a work in progress. I can say some shit to you that's I think it's funny, and you might be going through some shit that day and take it offensively.
mm-hmm.
I wouldn't know that, but I gotta apologize because that shit ain't fair to you to come and for me to come at you like that. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I try to practice being more positive instead of fucking just talking shit just to talk shit. I don't know. Talk shit in a different way. I feel like is a positive way.
When do you think
You
that
know
it's
what I'm saying?
appropriate to talk shit?
Man, with boys all the time. Because all we doing is doing it for the laughs and relaxing just to laugh, you know, type of thing. I feel like my jokes is it's not like, oh, you a punk or you acting like a little girl or whatever type of shit. I wouldn't want to bring them down in that sense, that talking shit for fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I talk shit in other ways. Like, I don't know. I couldn't give you an example right now, but I don't know. But like, I don't know, just more positively.
Me myself, I feel like I am that dude that's overly sensitive too as well, and I need to learn how to let go of these certain things. It's because say if somebody was to talk shit or do whatever and stuff like that, and I hate the fact that I get upset and I don't want to, and especially if I don't even know them and that's my buddy's buddy or do whatnot and stuff like that. But I always feel like the need to have to speak up and say something, but it gets very tiring. Then it makes the room just feel full of this bad energy, and I don't really want to give off the energy. I'm trying to figure out exactly what I gotta do to get rid of that, because I mean, it's toxic, it's poison, it kills you inside. And then it ruminates these thoughts over and over for what you can say next time or what you should have said that time when it happened, or you beat yourself up for saying, damn, why I let that shit slide, like
Right.
I should have did that.
That's
So
that.
so
That's that street mentality too, though,
yeah,
in a sense.
but it's not good.
We gotta let that go for sure. Yeah, because
you
it's
know
gonna bring you to a bad place.
yeah,
Because you're gonna have to take action. And when you take action,
then you get in trouble.
it's shit. Anything can go. You know
Nothing
what I'm
good
saying?
comes from it, honestly.
Yeah.
Nothing. Zero. Like, even if you go F this dude up, or, get him back somehow, or whatever it might be, and teach him a lesson, what does it really teach, though? Teaches everybody around you that they're not safe, right? Nobody can hang out with this guy without pissing him off, and then later on, he just goes off like a ticking time bomb, and, then it becomes more complicated.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would say like there's a perfect example. Like if another friend of another group, I mean, I'm at this age where I know how you are as a person. Where when I just meet you, like how you grew up, and how you present yourself. I know what crowd you hang out with, basically, what type you are, in a sense. So it's like I can feel that vibe already. So it's like I already know this person is like a square or whatever, or this person been in the streets or whatever. And like if I bring them into a different circle and they act kind of a little differently, it kind of bothers me too.
Which part bothers you?
Well, like
That they have to adapt, or is it the fact that they're not acting themselves, or what is it exactly that bothers you?
um like 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 I said, with boys, when we get together, we just talk shit for fun, right? And we talk shit about I don't know whatever, right? Stupid shit, just to laugh.
Just to get a laugh.
But when you bring two circles that's not the same,
Coming from a common ground.
yeah, that those jokes become disrespectful in a sense. So I know how to separate it, and I know he's just trying to be funny, but this shit ain't funny because real life people live in it kind of shit. But he's just making fun of it. He's trying to lighten the mood, become friendly, and crack jokes. But in actuality, it ain't funny. So I just accept that him as a person and knowing his upbringing, he just square to it. So he's clueless to it. So I just disregard it in that sense because I know he's just harmless. He's just trying to make fun. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. But in the same circle, you know, it's a little bit different. But in actuality, I just feel like you should be positive all the way around. Because the more positive you are, then the more positive you spread. But the more negative you are, the more negative you're gonna spread. And it's a fact. I've seen it face on with my neighbor, my old roommate. His ex-wife was so negative.
How
Like
so?
like just hanging out with them. Like they live right next door, so I just chill with them for a little bit here and there. Just her personality, the way she goes about everything is just hella negative. It's just like, I don't know, she put a negative stamp on everything. So then being with
You
my,
sure she just don't like you? That's why she's acting that way.
I don't know, but that's all I see. But no, she's really pretty nice, but she's negative towards her husband, which is my boy.
Oh, that's typical though.
So that naturally goes to him, and he's hella negative. So when he's out with us, me and my boy sees it, and we call him out on it. Like, why your train of thought is that way? It's because he's been hanging around her all day, and that lingers to us, and we see it. So he automatically like, oh
You're
yeah,
saying it rubs off that negative energy and just,
yeah, and that's how he
fills
carries
up the
his
room.
conversation, and that's the way he see his outlook on life. So when we go out and shit, everything is like negative. His thoughts like, just like, why the fuck is that? Blah blah blah. You know, I'm like, why do you even care?
So
Like,
you know
type of
what? I
shit.
wanted to add to that. So right off the top, what you said, right, was that when you're coming from a negative mindset and you're going to a new environment, people bring that along with them, right? And me myself, I'm probably guilty of that too sometimes. If I had a bad day, and the rest of the day is going to feel bad, so I have to literally prime myself, prep myself when I go to a different environment. Say for instance, if me and my wife are going out to some type of dinner and I have to wait in line, I literally have to tell myself, okay, there's going to be a long line. You have to figure out what you're going to do in that meantime until you sit down to the table. Because, one, you're going to be hungry during that time and you just got off work or,
You're
or
gonna be
whatever.
hangry.
Yeah. Literally have to prime yourself and tell yourself this is what you're going to be going through and you need to know how to learn how to deal with it.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of talk yourself into these things to be in a better state of mind.
Yep.
And that's the thing. Being conscious and aware of what we are doing is the hard part when we're emotionally involved with something earlier that day that causes us to be a ticking time bomb,
Yeah.
right? And it's always good. Say you see a friend and he's in a bad mood or whatever and stuff like that. Either one, you can tell him to, cool off and possibly stay home, or two, you talk to him and say, hey, we're here have to have a good time, leave that thing behind, and just forget about it, and I don't know, enjoy yourself with a drink or something. But I don't recommend having a drink to go cure all your problems, but something to remind yourself that that toxicness needs to be left behind and not carried around with you everywhere. And furthermore, when I talk about this whole forgiveness thing, if it's not dropped within that day and it lingers throughout your mind at nighttime, it's just gonna get worse. You're laying in bed at nighttime, staring at the ceiling, reenacting the whole dispute that happened or occurred earlier that day, and wishing that you said this instead and that instead. That's when it becomes real poisonous. And then you know what happens? The next time when that confrontation happens again, you're just gonna blow up, and you're just gonna let it rip. And that's not how you really want to carry on, with any type of problem that you're having. So my question to you is, what can they do to learn how to let things go?
What can they do to then let things go?
Because that's the hardest part. It's because you feel like you've been victimized, right, by the abuser, and you want to retaliate. No, not necessarily retaliate, but you want to voice your opinion, like you said earlier. You don't want to be no punk, so you speak up this time. But it can lead to conflict, and conflict is what we're trying to avoid, right?
Well, it's not that I wasn't trying to be no punk earlier. I was just telling him because it was foul what he said.
Right. But what I'm saying is the reason why you said that is because he crossed the line,
Yeah, he crossed the line, so I
and
told him, that shit was foul.
you can't talk to me like that.
Yeah,
Right?
basically. I
Yes.
was like, that shit's foul, dude. I would never say some shit like that to you, kind of shit.
Right.
So, but after that, I was good. I let it go. That was it. I just had to say what I had to say. In actuality, most people don't say that, and they just rather drop them as a person and drop that relationship.
Oh, okay. So I see what you're saying. Like, talk about it and let it go and then move on, right?
Yeah, let it out. Because if you keep it inside, it's gonna, it's not gonna be good for you. Because like you said, you're gonna go home and you're gonna be thinking about it, like, oh, I should have said this, I should have done this, I should have done that. You know, so that's the. I feel like that's the thing. That's why that's why it's venting, right? You have to let that steam out. Because you don't let it out, it's gonna eat you up inside. It's gonna make you even more angry. And if you might not snap at your boy because you think that's your boy and you shouldn't snap at him, but there's a right and a wrong way to talk about things, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't come at him foul just because he came at you foul. It's just two negatives won't be a positive. So you see immediately that was a negative, so I put a positive on it. I was like, yo, that's kind of foul. I wouldn't talk to you like that. And then you're talking to this person, both mind and heart. That's how I always say, that's why I always say, you have to talk to each person, each relationship that you actually care about working on and continuing on with this relationship. You have to think about your heart and your mind. Because mind, you think logically, this doesn't make sense. So this makes sense, right? And with your heart, you have to think about their feelings. You don't want to hurt their feelings in a sense too. And then you want to be joyful. You want to be happy. So as long as you go about it with both logically and emotionally in every relationship, I think that'll be the perfect relationship. So you have to let it out that it bothered you, talk about it, and then your boy, your friend, your family, whatever it may be, they should reciprocate that and acknowledge that and know that just because one person likes it doesn't mean this person likes it. So you can't come at them like that. And if they're telling you that shit hurt my feelings or that shit's foul, you should respect that and don't do that to that person so that they don't feel disrespected or hurt because you care for this person. So you should do that for them out of the love that you have for this person because you care about them. That's your friend. That's your family. You want to see them doing better and you don't want to hurt their feelings. And some people just are certain shit hurts their feelings,
Yeah, so
you just got to respect
what I'm asking is that if you are the victim, right?
Yeah.
What do you say to your abuser?
Tell them straight up. That's foul. And I will respect you not to cross that line with me or however you want to say it. Say it to a way that that they will understand it. Because everybody takes things differently, understand things differently. You got to break it down to them in a point where they can understand it in order to reciprocate it, right?
So, so in a perfect world, yes, that would work. But a lot of times the abuser doesn't really give a fuck, right? And then you become a victim, and then you're basically either one, like dropping the dude, not worth your time, or two, waiting for he or she to apologize, right? And if you constantly feel like you're going to wait on that apology, you might not ever get it.
Move on.
That's what I'm trying to get at too as well. Like a lot of people need to learn how to let things go.
Yeah,
Like
move on.
You're not going to get that apology that you're looking for, and it'll just kill you and eat you up inside.
Or just ask them. Ask them, can you, bro, just tell them straight up. Put it all on the table. Nothing holding back, truthfully. Like, yo, you hurt my feelings. Can you apologize for doing this to me, bro? Because that shit really hurt my feelings. Either way, to whatever person.
My bad, you sensitive ass motherfucker.
Yeah,
And what do you say?
I'm being serious right now.
Yeah, and then he says, my bad, Mr. Sensitive. And then what?
That's it. You just say what you got to say. Leave it on the table. And if he doesn't own it and then apologize, there's nothing else you could do, right?
It's just like it's the way I say it, right? It's sarcastically, and it'll just piss you off even more.
That's what my boy said. Once I said that, once I called him out on his foulness, yeah.
He did the sarcasm?
Yeah, he was like, my bad, Mr. Sensitive. I won't do it again.
Yeah.
Type of shit. And he was like, oh, okay, my bad, Mr. Sensitive. I didn't know that shit would hurt your feelings like that. Whatever.
Right.
He said something like that.
Was this apologized through a text message?
Yeah, this is all on text. This is in the group chats.
So, yeah. So here's the thing, right? The group text.
But he called me too, though.
Oh, okay.
He called me.
Which is good.
Yeah.
If he called you, then that's good.
Yeah, he called me. We was just, I was like, yeah, bro. It's like, man, we would have been fighting, bro. Like, type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Man, I wouldn't want to say some shit like
Well,
that to
no,
you.
that's
Type of
good.
shit.
That's good that he apologized, especially over the phone. Because the thing about text message, we can get lost in
Oh,
translation,
it's
right?
definitely lost in translation. I
Like
always lose myself
you're
with
always
that.
mimicking, or your brain is always remembering that last conversation you had in person with that other
And
person.
it'll be the same
So
tone.
that same tone
Yeah.
will come off, whether he was angry or happy or grinning or whatever it might
Yeah.
be. But that mood that you had that day is different, right? And it's all about how you receive it. But you know, if we constantly are waiting for somebody to apologize to us, even though we didn't do anything wrong and we were the victim, it doesn't work in our favor. I feel like a lot of people should just forgive without even bothering to ask for that apology. It's because if you're able to forgive, then you're able not necessarily forget, but move on. That's the key. You don't want to let that shit eat you up. Is because of how people see you, or how you think people look at you, because you're expecting somebody to apologize before you can finally move on. Versus, honestly, if I saw a man get punched, right, by his friend, and he was able to let go, I wouldn't look at him like he's a bitch. I'm like, damn, that guy took it to the chin, and he brushed it off like it was nothing and just moved on, and not like nothing happened, but he wasn't going to let it eat him up.
Yeah, perfect example. All right, this is the
Right.
simplest things too, right? I always hold the door for people if I see somebody coming behind me, right? And then like I always wait for somebody and let them pass me in traffic or come out the come out the driveway or whatever, right?
Okay.
If I see traffic behind me, I'll stop for them and let them go. If there's no traffic behind me, I'll just keep going and let them go behind me. Common courtesies type of shit, and people don't say thank
Etiquette.
you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Proper etiquette. Like holding the door, me and my boy, we always talk shit about this. Like, damn, I held the door for this person. This motherfucker can't even say thank you. I be getting boiled. Like, damn, you can't common courtesy. You can't say fucking thank you. So I learned to just let that shit go, and I just do it because that's me. That's what type of person I am. I just open the door, and that gives me the
Gratification.
gratification. Don't count on somebody else to give you that gratification, because more often than not, they're not gonna do it, and you don't know what they're going through. So they're like, fuck everybody, fuck world, fuck life, no respect for nobody, no thank you, no nothing.
Hey, try living in New York and holding the door for people, man. They don't give a fuck
They don't
over
give a
there. They
fuck, and
just
they
walk right through and just
still look
like,
mad as fuck.
like let me tell you something. So I stayed in New York for a couple years, right? And shout out to my New York buddies and stuff like that. I wanted to say hi to them. They've been going through some health problems recently, but I'll get into that in another episode. But
We
so
got
when
like
I was
30
living out in New
minutes.
York, huh?
We got like 30 minutes.
Oh, I actually let it on the other disc.
Oh, okay,
So
but
we're good.
disregard that. My bad.
Yeah. So, um,
New York.
the thing is, like I was doing the same thing you were doing. I was holding the door for people, but once you hold the door for people, like 10 other people start walking through, and you can't expect a thank you from every single person that walks through,
No,
right?
yeah.
Like New York traffic is real traffic.
Yeah, yeah.
And the thing about it is that you're in New York when you open doors for people and people don't say thank you. And in Cali, you do it, everyone's very grateful, thankful,
Usually,
appreciative. Yeah,
yeah,
for the most part.
yeah.
Vice versa, in New York, when you let people run across the street, like you stop as a car, so the car actually has the right of way, believe it or not. Like when you are going across the street, like cars will just keep going. They won't stop, and they know you're a pedestrian walking, but you're the one dodging the car.
Right.
Okay, they muscle you in New York when you're going to the exit or you're going onto the traffic. Like New York drivers, it's like me driving as a teenager. Like I don't gives an F about anything. So coming back to California, you see, I guess you can say privilege or entitlement. Like you walk across the street and the car will pull up to the stop sign, and if they don't even bother checking traffic in California, they'll look like you better stop.
Yeah,
All right, and then they're walking, they're taking a sweet ass time. You just feel like flooring the pedal.
yeah, yeah.
But in New York, they'll actually thank you for letting them cross the road, because New York drivers don't do that.
Mm.
They don't let you cross the road like that. They'll ram you over.
Well, me naturally, anybody stop for me, I still say thank you.
Yeah, but in New York they actually run.
Right. Well, I
Yeah,
do. I do
they
kind of
don't.
jog.
Yeah,
'Cause-
they actually sprint. Right when they see you, they just sprint. And
yeah,
go
because I
across
mean,
the street.
I feel like that's you on their time. Like they took the time out for them to stop for you, and I feel like you should be appreciative of that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
But going back to the whole etiquette thing, right? Don't just don't expect people to do the same because you're Mr.
Yeah.
Nice Guy.
Just do you, man.
So sorry, I have to call you out on this.
Yeah.
So you were playing Mr. Nice Guy, right? At that time, but it didn't work out in your favor. But remember what we talked about kindness? Do it from the kindness of your heart and don't expect a thank you in return.
Right.
That type of thing. That's how everybody should be trying. Well, we should all try to practice. Don't expect nothing in return. And then you can finally live life without trying to feel like everything is equal. That's the thing about it. We're all trying to fight for something where everyone is equally distributed that same treatment, you know? And if we learn to let that go and say, you know what, I don't really give a fuck if somebody mistreats me. It's like it doesn't bother me. I can move on.
Yeah.
You can technically be bulletproof, right?
Yeah.
At that point. That's a skill. That's something that's learned over time. And hopefully in the future we can all be desensitized towards these words or these emotions and these feelings that we get that stem from other people, us reacting to other people's bad etiquette.
Yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I deal with my boy on a daily, and
I don't
this
like that
motherfucker could be a headache, bro. It's not that I don't like him, but he give me a motherfucking
Yeah.
headache, and he knows it too.
Yeah.
He knows it too. So it's just like,
He sounds like a fun guy, honestly.
no, he is fun. I love that foot to death.
Yeah.
But
He sounds like a fun dude just fucking with you. That's what he sounds like.
yeah,
Yeah.
but there's just it is deeper though. It is deeper
What,
because
is there an ex girlfriend?
no, it's just like there's other shit that other shit like like our fantasy football, right? So he's the guy that's calling me every week, talking about why is this and this. I'm like, bro, we just playing a game. Just enjoy the fucking game. He thinking I'm rigging the system against him, and it's all friends in this fucking fantasy football.
Fantasy football. How
Yeah.
is it even rigged? I mean, you're picking up your own squad, right?
Yeah, but there's certain shit unexplainable that happens in fantasy football.
So
right?
can you explain fantasy football to those that don't understand it?
Fantasy football is just so we follow the NFL games, right? So it's a bunch of friends. Just say you and me. We can play two people. We just pick a team of 10
From a choice of a roster.
of everybody that plays in the NFL.
NFL.
So you and me, we go head up. We were just in our own league. So we take turns picking people until we fill our roster, right? And then every week we play against each other. We set up our lineups to play against each other, and whoever scores during that week gets points, and then those
The actual
2 points.
NFL player actually scores and put points up on the
Yeah.
board, and you get to redeem those points as a fantasy.
Yeah, and at the end of the
player.
year, you
Yeah.
win a little pot, a trophy,
Yeah.
or whatever with your friends. So it's just good for shits and giggles, right? You get to side bet with your boy and talk shit.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
not even that serious. It's not really gambling.
It's not.
It's like a long-term type of thing to follow. Kind
Yeah.
of.
All right, so get
And
this.
it's bragging rights.
Yeah,
too, as
exactly.
well.
It's just bragging rights and talking shit to your friend,
Yeah.
right? So he's calling me like every week. There's 17 weeks. This is the only dude in fantasy. We have a group of 16 people. So think about it. Like every week he's calling me about some rule or something that he wants to adjust or change. And I'm like, just play. Like, and then on the cherry on top, the fantasy gods saw the pain that I was going through dealing with this motherfucker, right? The playoffs came, and there was like a weird, like the bottom 2 people, right? The bottom 4 people, it was like the last game made a big difference. It was either 2 people were in or 2 people were out.
So
Clutched him out, right? And he was supposed to be, he looked at it, he was like, how the hell did he make it? I didn't make it. I was like, bro, I don't know, bro. That's the way fantasy played out. I said, no, hell no. Like, he was like that. Like, he really thought that I rigged it for him. For the other player, which is my cousin. But he was like, that's just not fair, and blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm like, I didn't do anything to do this, bro. That's the way Yahoo set it up. You out. Like, it's just a game. You know what I'm saying? Between friends. Like, it's nothing personal. I never would fucking do that. And that's how he took it. So that, on top of, like, other shit, you know what I'm saying? That, I don't know, that like I said, bro, I wouldn't want to be called no faggot, bro. Like, I would never Like, come on, man. Like, it's just that's your friend. Like, jokingly around. Like, I never call you a type of shit.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. It's just I noticed that you feel very offended when somebody uses that word, and you know that word.
Or bitch. Like, I wouldn't even
Sure,
want to call my boy a bitch.
sure,
Like,
yeah, that
in a funny ass way, I guess. But maybe through text. Like, I saw it.
I
I
think that
just couldn't.
we need to set up like some type of
It was offensive, bro. Like,
s-
like I said, I
we,
got Frisco folks out here too. So it's
we need
just
to
like,
set up some type of
man.
desensitizing to words and stuff like that. Just have it would just be set up in a room, and then we have a bunch of people just call you a bunch of names, so you just don't react to it anymore.
Well, I took it offensive
You know?
because like I got love for Frisco because you and my other boy, I got love for Frisco people too, and he was just like faggots. That was just like that shit. I took it offensive because yeah. So I just and that's just not cool to just be said. I wouldn't want my friend to be going
I
around talking like that.
I
You know what I'm
yeah
saying? Like that's
I
that's
don't
foul,
I don't
man.
want to comment on it because it's just gonna stem up something thing too, and
No, but
then
I love that fool and
my
like
boys are gonna be like, "Yo, speak on it." I'm like, I don't even want to get into it because
yeah,
it's
man.
not
Yeah,
worth it.
it's
I
not.
don't even
It's a whole different
know the
shit.
situation, but
Yeah.
there's no point of
But
me
like I said,
reacting to it
I wouldn't even want my boy to be talking like that.
because in this
You know?
episode we're trying to learn how to forgive,
Yeah.
right?
So
And the thing about all this is that we just can't talk it. We need to walk it ourselves. And I just wanted to share with people that we can all relate to each other. We've always been to that one place where we felt disrespected or we felt betrayed or whatnot. And if we keep letting this get to us, we're just not going to grow as people. And this episode, it was something where I felt like was needed because this is something that people don't discuss about why they fall out of past relationships, whether it's their friend dating their ex girlfriend, their mom, a dad, their brother cheated them out of their money,
yeah, man,
and
it's just
then your sister, your brother, you know, went under the influence and did something unforgiving or whatever it might be. You know, the thing is that I don't think anybody's intention is to wake up every morning and say, "Yo, I'm gonna up today. I'm gonna do something bad so I can piss somebody off." I don't think that's anybody's case. I just think that people make mistakes. They don't know how to respond to making a mistake, and sometimes it goes as simple as a simple apology, but they just don't know where to start. And
it's too much pride involved, man. Look at the way, like it goes back to how society raised men. Like we have too much pride, too much ego to even apologize, bro. Like growing up, I would think that's some girl shit. You acting like a girl. It's like apology. What the? We don't need no apology. We strong. We men. We could take it, right? That's the way the society made us and groomed us to be. But in actuality, is oh my bad. But in actuality, it's good to apologize for the faults that you do. That means you admit when you were wrong and you're trying to make it better and move forward together instead of apart. Because most of the time, man, like there's plenty of friends that I know that they just like fuck it. I just rather not deal with them
mm,
than to apologize.
yeah,
Type of shit, you know.
for me, I could relate with you the other day. Like just when you say you read stuff through text, like for me, I get lost in translation through text
Yeah,
all
for
the
sure.
time, and I don't even text anymore. I pick up phone calls and like I don't because my mind doesn't work like other people. Like it's I have such a negative mindset when I read text for some reason. I just need to stop, you know, like reading it the way I read it. I don't know what it is. Like I always feel like everyone's angry
Well,
through text. Even when someone adds an LOL at the end, it feels disrespectful. I don't know what it is. It's something about it that I need to. That's why I always tell people, "Yo, call me." Like I don't like texting. The
yeah,
reason it's not because I'm lazy to text. It's because I just read it all messed up. My brain doesn't process it like other people. And
right.
I guess I get into so many arguments during text that everybody seems like an argument. And so I just leave it alone. So, I mean, you can't mistranslate the word, but at the same
Yeah, you
time,
can, bro.
um, it's one of these things where, it, I just wish that we can learn how to communicate so we don't get offended.
We just need to learn to talk more. And the more we talk, we'll learn to correct ourselves because that's just not right. Like my boy the other day, we was just talking, we just bullshitting, and he hanging out with one of his best friends that's black, and he dropping N bombs all day, and then he jokes around and drops it with an ER. I'm like, bro, you was hella foul, bro, and
He
he
wants
was
to end
just
up in the ER.
yeah. I was like, what the fuck is you doing, bro? It's just people just out of sight, out of mind, and just like the more you talk, the more you realize that certain shit is not okay. It's just foul.
Was he drunk?
No, he
Sober?
just talking. Oh, he just thought he was funny. He just said it. I was like, nah, bro, that's foul, bro. Don't say shit like that. And his boy immediately got on him too and was like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know? Immediately.
Yeah, I mean, when we're talking about derogatory terms and stuff like that, there's a place and a time. I don't even think there's a place.
Yeah, there's
for
certain
it,
places
honestly.
and times for and certain that. It's just
You know,
there's no place, no time for it.
Yeah, I mean,
There's just certain shit you just cannot say because yes, you know, nowadays motherfuckers is more sensitive. True. That's true though. Like a lot of more the younger generation, they're a lot more sensitive, for sure. But in actuality, there's certain boundaries you just can't cross. Everybody got different boundaries that you shouldn't be crossing, and it's okay as you continue this relationship of knowing this and admitting when you're wrong, because there's no way you're gonna learn this without saying it.
Bro, I read an article like yesterday, and they're changing the term mummy,
Mm-hmm.
because they're saying that these people were once human too.
Yeah.
So now they're calling them mummified person. I was like, wait, what?
Right.
Now even the dead is being sensitive. We're being
Yeah, I mean,
sensitive towards the dead people too.
It gets overboard sometimes. It
I
does.
was just like, wow.
It does.
I was like, we're
I
really
ain't gonna lie,
changing
like-
it to mummified person
Like-
instead
like
of calling them mummies.
Like you think about it right now, like transgender people, they're killing it in the sports industry when the men become a woman, right? It's a sensitive thing in a sense too to the transgender male that turned into a woman. Why not? They're probably thinking like, why not? I can't transition into their sport because I'm a woman now, right?
Well, I don't think that's fair.
It's not fair at all because they're killing it.
I mean, yeah.
Like it's not fair. It's black and white. Some things are just black and white. Something is just not acceptable, and that's the truth because it's a proven fact.
I mean, you got testosterone in your body, your muscle mass is going to be a lot bigger than the woman. I mean, it's just plain and simple.
Yeah,
The anatomy, you can't change the fact that, you know, you technically are gifted physically versus a woman that doesn't have the same strength that they can replicate from a man. You know, so I don't I don't see nothing. Well, I'm not gonna say I don't see nothing wrong with disliking it, but there is.
It's unfair, man.
Yes,
there's no way
you can't. If the trans, man.
They have to take their testosterone away, right?
I mean, you throw
'Cause
them
women don't have
you throw 'em in the
testosterone, right?
transgender Olympics or something like
Yeah.
that. You know, like do a separate one for specifically
completely different.
those whomever it might be.
That's why it goes back to like, if you think about it simply, the species of humankind, the creatures of humans, men, were built this way. We're built more bigger, stronger because we're
You are. I'm still live.
you're, compared to your wife. Come on,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Like we're built this way to go out and provide and hunt and freaking kill animals or whatever it may be to take and bring home.
Rock.
Women are built to produce more
Milk.
milk
And
for
creatures.
kids and more creatures, right? We're not like that. This is the way we're set up, people. Like, you know, it just comes down to it. Like, if you think about it simply, that much simpler. We're just completely different. That's the way we're built because that's how we're supposed to be. But now it's so laxed or whatever. People want to change it up. You know, it's a thought that's planted into some kid, some man or woman that wants to change these things. They're not happy with what they are as a person, so they want to change it. You know, and that's fine. That's your every right to change it. But in actuality, this is not you. You're a man, and by creating this man in you, we gave you these certain things that you have that's way different from a woman. So if you become a man and change to the woman, there's those certain things are still there.
There's a handicap, and you know,
There's a handicap.
Yeah, it's definitely something that shouldn't. I'm not saying tolerate.
It's a new
but
category, so
yeah.
they should be in their own category too as well. They can't be in the same category as women because they're just built different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally unfair. Like LeBron James would be a woman, like he'll kill it. Or any NBA maybe person because their bodies are just naturally different. Yeah. So, but that's the world we're living in. So it's just like, yeah, man. Yeah.
So just to wrap it up real quick. I mean, I don't know how much time we have left, but
We started. It's about an hour right now.
oh wow. Okay. So what I wanted to basically boil down to is stop drowning yourself in that poison. Learn how to let go. Don't wait for that apology.
Learn though. There's
Yeah,
a process to it. It's
there
not.
is.
It's not
Yeah,
just hella easy. But
no one can just tell you right away to just drop it. But
yeah,
what I'm saying is identify.
identify it. Yep.
Yeah,
Vent that shit out.
be aware. There's a lot of things that I didn't realize that journaling can do for you. It's a process of learning how to actually process this information of how you're feeling. That's why people journal. Like, if you don't have a therapist, write this stuff down. Learn how to self-reflect and give yourself that time to understand why you feel a certain way. Put it on a piece of paper, and then see what happens. Me myself, I've learned so much by writing through these podcasts. I do a lot of writing on my downtime, and I'm able to process this information, which actually helps me feel better. It helps me with my depression. So, with that being said, maybe you guys could jot these thoughts down and see what comes of it.
Yeah, because I mean, definitely people. I know some people too that they just naturally don't know how to talk about things. Like I was just talking to someone, one of my close people, and then they were just like, "Yeah, I mean, like just like about the things that you talk about on your show." I was like, "Oh, so like depression and stuff like that." But yeah, he was like, "But damn, yeah, I just don't know how to talk about it." I was like, so I don't know. I had this thing, right? Everything is easy. Everything is hard until you find the process to make it easy. So you can ask my wife and my family, like, "Oh, that's easy. Everything. Anytime we have a conversation about something or we try to figure something out, oh, that's easy. I know how to do that because every time immediately I go to this thought process of how they do things, right? That's why I was like, nothing's hard. It's hard in the beginning, but until you figure out the steps you need to do to make it work, it becomes easy. So just like anything, so just like
So
talking,
I believe easier, not necessarily easy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, in the beginning, it's not gonna be easier, yeah, because you're trying to figure it out. But I'm saying you got to figure out or try to find the steps you need to take to make it easy. So by just not talking, you don't know how to talk about it. There's your prime example of what you need to do. Talk more. Just talk about life more. Talk about anything. Just talk about your daily, what you do today. And see, that's the thing about growing up in that generation of having hella pride and uh, learning to keep shit inside and just learning how to you have to just handle it, like type of thing. Don't be a burden. Like it's never a burden if you're having an issue and you want to talk about it. It's fine. Like I love you. I want to see you doing better. I don't want you holding that shit inside and eating you up. So just talk about it. Like damn, what happened? You know? Oh yeah, I went through so and so and this motherfucker cut me off and shit and blah blah blah. I was like, oh yeah, man. And one thing to counteract that was that my cousin always told me like, yo, there's 80% of people in this world that are stupid. So if you fucking when you go out there, when you step out your door, just try to keep that in mind. So that counteracts when you have a bad day, when you interact with somebody that's having a worse day. They're 80% stupid out there. So given that, all the people that you probably counteract and meet that probably cut you off or flipped you off or whatever it may be, just try to brush it off and know like, why would you want to deal with stupid, right? It's like you're gonna be talking to a brick wall. So why do it? Just that's one way to counteract the
I mean,
negativity.
that's a good way for him to look at it,
Yeah,
But at the same time, I don't want to promote calling people, stupid.
stupid.
I just rather say, hey, not everybody takes the time to process information like you do, so they technically don't need a reminder, but we got to learn how to forgive it and just move on from it and not just take it to the heart. That's the thing. Like It's really not them. It's kind of us. We need to learn how to stop reacting to every single thing that irritates us.
Unless it's life threatening, yeah, of course. But
Right.
other
If
than
there's
that,
danger,
yeah,
right? There's
yeah,
that's different. But for the most part, I mean, we're just talking about just road rage in general, right? We need to learn that road rage does nothing for us. Zero.
yeah.
So
So
instead, you can try to think, hey, let them go first. He seems like he's in a rush or he has to go somewhere. Instead
yeah,
of
yeah,
thinking that motherfucker ran a stop sign, he shouldn't be riding on the street. He's gonna kill somebody. Whatever. It's not our job to go chase this dude down and flick him off just to let him know that he did something bad. I mean, he knows what he did or she knows what she did, but it's just gonna escalate things, right? So we need to learn how to de-escalate ourselves from feeling that way. When you catch yourself feeling that emotion, just know that okay, this feeling will pass, and after a few minutes or whatever amount of time that it might take, you'll eventually let it go. And same with me. Have that time when I sleep on certain things to the next morning I wake up, which I always have shitty sleep. I always try to think to myself, damn, why was I so mad like yesterday? Oh, damn, I wish I could have just held back my emotions just a little bit so people couldn't see me like that. You
yeah.
know? So yeah, we all are learning. It's a learning curve and a process. It takes time. So it's not going to happen overnight.
No, that was just like a funnier way to put it, and much simpler.
Hmm.
Like just thinking that 80% of the world out there is pretty stupid. So don't waste your time on it. It's just something quick and easy to think about it. But in actuality, yeah, of course, like everybody's going through what I think is everybody going through some shit. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to road rage, like people dying off of road rage. People get so angry and like they start shooting on the freeways. It happens all the time in the Bay. So
I don't even want to talk about that incident. I know.
yeah, so there's this like stupid incidents all the time. So it's just like, yeah, you never know what you're gonna run into. But if you can avoid it because it's not worth your time and stress over. You know what I'm saying? Like when I drive, one of the main reasons that I tell my wife, because she kind of had road rage too, is that I think of it as a video game. I try to get my A to B with just coasting through it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
With the least amount of negativity to get to the destination.
yeah,
Just
I just try
trying
to
to
make my
avoid.
way there. Like, there's so many bad drivers out there, and I always think of this like, why don't they retest drivers more often? Because there's so many bad drivers, especially when you get older too. Like my grandpa is like one of them. Like he would run through red lights and like
Mm. Damn.
don't even signal at all. Like I'm like, dude, and like my wife sees it too. Like she sees a bunch of older people when they drive, they're pretty reckless. But anyway,
No
yeah,
one's
they
holding them accountable.
yeah, they just don't care, man. I don't know. They just think they're invisible or something. But yeah, man, just try to make it a game, make it fun, and learn to enjoy it. Enjoy the drive. Like there's always going to be like mistakes or hiccups here and there, but just keep pushing. You know.
Well, I think that's way past our time, but I want to thank everybody for listening in. If you guys made it this far,
Anybody else got a topic that you guys think we should talk about, man?
yeah, hit the like,
Comment section.
subscribe, and
Yeah.
make a comment. We'd love to have some type of feedback.
Yeah. I don't
And
even think nobody left a comment for that $100 giveaway we're supposed to do. But
on
I
the
don't
next
know, man.
episode, we're just gonna send somebody in. We don't even care, and then we'll DM them, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're not really active on that, so nobody really care about that hundred
we
dollars or
ain't got
something.
no friends. But hey, thank you guys, and stay kind to one another,
Yeah, man.
and check in with who?
Yeah, check in with your peoples, man, your loved ones.
Check in with your loved
Say
ones.
what's up. Just give them that 5-10 minutes. Yeah.
Take
Peace.
care. Peace.